Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at Vermont because I wanted to have some fun today. And you know what's really fun? Dev strikes, Citadel salvos. Vermont is one of the best ships in the game for that. 457mm main guns, it's accurate, you get 12 of them. You get a long reload, there are some downsides certainly, but it has extreme firepower. Even at range here into a Bremen, that's a pretty good start. No dev strike, unfortunately, but nearly 40k. Moving on, this ship also has some decent maneuverability. I really enjoy that Vermont has this absurd built-in acceleration. Yeah, it's pretty nuts on ships like Valparaiso, and Libertad on release had this, but Vermont makes pretty good use of it too. Dev strike there quickly on Hector, and of course, we'll be able to drift through and dodge all these torpedoes. Vermont is an absolute blast, but you didn't click on this video for just standard dev strikes. No. What about a game where I'm able to get the reload down to 20 seconds? And yes, it's going to be in this game. Notice that's not arms race? Not an arms race buff in sight. And we're going to get a 20-second reload Vermont. This is with accuracy upgrade as well, by the way. We are running the legendary upgrade. I'll show you the build towards the end. And of course, that means a Halsey proc. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the massive strength Vermont has in its concealment. Surprising enemy ships, thanks to the 12.5 kilometer detect, something like that, with full build is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what they were thinking in the ballast department, but that actually allows me to get away with not running full conceal builds and still have a decent detect. And of course, the new map. All right, this map has a ton of islands to allow us to push up and use that we don't need the best detection in the world to surprise enemy ships. Sometimes with Vermont also, since you have such a long reload, it's better to just not shoot. This poor Blucher is waiting for me to fire. He's waiting. He's trying to bait me into shooting his angled ship, which he knows he can probably tank one salvo. It's going to hurt, but he can probably eat one and then turn away, getting into cover here. But what happens if I just don't shoot? Oh, is he going to go for it? Wait, he sees me looking and he's probably going to turn back in. So I'm not going to shoot yet. We're holding this poor man hostage. I got to shoot soon though. And the crossfire comes through. This is why you don't shoot. You hold him in a predictive line. Now when he's scared, he's lost a lot of HP. Now he's going to give us the broadside. You didn't know World of Warships was psychological warfare sometimes, but it is. Of course, he's going to have torped us, and Vermont, with its built-in acceleration, we're going to stop and accelerate forward. So with great concealment, that allows us to surprise enemy ships on more open water maps. But a lot of maps have great island cover. This new map, of course, an extreme example of that. I personally have been finding it very fun to use these islands very creatively, but it means Vermont without full conceal build can still be very, very surprising. And that is how I'm getting this such absurd reload. Legendary mod is in the 5th upgrade slot and takes away one of our concealment upgrades. We also need to take things like Furious to build up some better reload. As you'll notice, I already have full heals. I got 5 heals and we have fire prevention. So I did give up both conceal upgrades. Nice little cross map on the Yoshino there. Yes, long range. These shells retain a lot of pen. These are absolutely devastating. Shimakaze tries to sneak up on us. Fortunately, we have some teammates help here. We get front guns only. You should be shooting destroyers in your Vermont, by the way. Yeah, you got a long reload, but that AP hurts. Front guns only did 10,000 damage. That is absolutely absurd. Vermont also can afford to play in a little more aggressive positions thanks to its AA. Defensive AA in particular helps against bombs, against these carrier strikes, or in this case, hybrid strikes. It helps, okay? You're not going to be able to sustain full carrier focus, but it does help. It's a bit of a deterrent, as well as the heals being a fast cooldown. I absolutely love Vermont. You guys know this already about me, and I really just wanted to have some fun today, so we're going to be playing Vermont. New map here, allowing us to push up. A little bit of patience. You notice I did not push instantly when this match started, waited for that 10-minute mark. We're getting very fortunate in this one to actually have a close game. If you've been playing over the Christmas break, you probably have noticed close games are not very common, unfortunately. So it took me a little while to get this one for you guys, but it is well worth it. Close games like this one, the new map without too much plane spotting, is an absolute blast, giving us opportunities to push in, find crossfires, prevent enemies from firing at us, lobbing shells over different parts of the map. I find that really interesting, much more so than, say, Okinawa South Side, Mountain Range, Wargaming. When are we getting those map updates, please? All right, we now have our reload buffed with Halsey Confederate, and that's a 27-second reload at this point. No Furious, and not a ton of AR yet either. Vermont, of course, is devastating into broadsides, but with a 27-second reload, suddenly we can start just aiming for superstructures and not worry about enemy ships getting a free turn away. That's one of the main reasons that you want to hold your shots in Vermont. 40-second reload with the standard build results in taking a salvo. Well, if that guy is angled, he has more than enough time to get a turn away completely for free before you're reloaded. Not so with this max reload build, or close to max reload build. We still want to take dispersion upgrade, okay? I need to stress this, 11% dispersion is way too good to ignore, and so I'm still taking it here and getting a pretty ridiculous reload. I'm a little wary of Wisconsin possibly pushing us here. That is the one downside, so I'm trying to get into a position where it's not going to be an instant ram or anything like that. I also want to stay angled to him, but I want to help on the other side of the map. Vermont is so good into these crossfires. It's amazing at helping your team on different sides of the map. We don't have a ton of spotting over here, so it doesn't even matter that maybe I could be focusing over here. Anyway, we see Wisconsin as well as worrying about Aki. Barbiano decides to make his play. We're going to try and help finish up Wisconsin so then our guys can help us over here now that it looks like the enemy team is making their move. This is another reason that I absolutely love maps that allow you to push up and play a little closer on some of these islands. It gets way more interesting when you have to make a play. You have to play aggressive. You have to put your ship in a bit of risk to actually start playing the battle rather than playing at the back of the map, kited, playing in spawn, and having everyone still spotted because there's not a lot of island cover. Those maps tend to be a little bit less enjoyable for me. Although not every map looks quite like this one. We noticed the one shot from the Wisconsin over that island, and that gives us a little bit of time to maneuver here. So, do we want to get caught in a crossfire between an Aki and a Wisconsin? No, we definitely do not. So what I'm gonna try to do here, okay, the goal is to point our bow towards Aki and our stern towards Wisconsin before Wisconsin gets around the island, because then I'm just angled to both of them. You also want to notice the turret management here. You should have realized already playing the game that when your mouse is pointed towards the left side of your ship, all your turrets want to turn that way. To the right side, your turrets want to turn that way. You can actually use this to keep your bow turrets pointed forward and your stern turrets pointed backwards. And just by moving your mouse back and forth, holding your rear turrets or your front turrets, depending on which side you're looking, directly backwards or forwards. It's really, really useful in very niche scenarios. So here we need our rear turrets to turn a little more to the right to find Wisconsin. Fortunately, Wisconsin didn't shoot us when we were broadside, although makes sense, wanted to finish off the Monmouth. But here it allows us to get a rear turret salvo off on the Wisconsin. Now, a little worried about our guns turning too far to the right in the front, so we'll keep the guns left here just for a little bit. And now I'm wanting to hold those rear turrets. They're pretty much directly on Wisconsin. Want to hold them there, but I also need to get my front guns towards Aki. It's really fun when I get to do this, okay? So I absolutely love these maps when they let me brawl like this, even in a ship like Vermont that typically is not a brawler. It's still very fun in these engagements. We'll get the Wisconsin here, and now we might just end up ramming, unfortunately. I'm not a huge fan of rams, as you guys know. This is the most fun part of the game for me, so why would I want to cut it short, right? Trying to pre-turn some turrets here. Aki, fortunately, doesn't go for the ram either. He's very vulnerable broadside, although we are a little bit too. We take some damage. He gets our one front turret, so we don't get the 6 citadels. Rear turrets to follow up, surely. And we only get 6 full pens. What happened? Well, I was a bit confused in the moment, and I will explain a little bit after, but we still need to try and win this game. Aki, I think, will go down to potentially a fire from our secondaries or our teammates. And there's also a Worcester here. Now we're getting low on adrenaline rush, as well as there's one Furious stack already. Fortunately, our teammates do help us out there. And now a Worcester to deal with. The problem, of course, with taking things like Furious as well as heavy AP is that you're maybe incentivized to let fires burn, and that gets very risky very quickly. Double fire now. Worcester also does not take a citadel, which is absolutely wild, but that's okay. We have like a 20-second reload right now. With the 2 fires ticking, with Adrenaline Rush, with Halsey Confederate, with Legendary Upgrade, and retaining Accuracy mod, so that we can have salvos just like this. That is indeed a 20-second reload, until I click my damage control. That is a Kraken, that is a Dev Strike, and of course, you can expect that to be an E as well. But what happened with that Yamato, or sorry, Aki salvo? It's Yamato Hull. Well, you see, I had to go into a training room and test, but the guns actually don't point very low close to the ship. It's called gun depression, I believe, from things like World of Tanks. So the closest towards my ship that I could actually hit the water was around 0.4 to 0.5 kilometers away. And we were 0.3 kilometers from that Aki when I took that salvo. So aim was okay, but just a weird mechanic in the game at extremely close ranges. He was actually completely safe for me citadeling him. There's nothing I could have done, which is pretty interesting. Didn't know that. Always nice to learn some new mechanics. And don't you worry, we're going to keep going with some Vermont. I'm having too much fun here. And this is a great example of the downside of playing this build. No concealment means, yeah, we're not surprising anyone on a flank like this one. A lot of these maps have good island cover that you can use to surprise people, but not always. And this is an example where I spawned on the flank. So I don't want to just go to the decent island cover and then ruin my team's chances on this flank by completely giving it up. That is really, really bad. You should not be doing that. Turn away? Let's see. It's not quite the turn away, and that's okay. He turns back in. Might still clip him with a few of those. A little bit. Not a lot of damage, actually, for the number of hits there. That's okay. We don't have our fully built reload yet. No Confeds and no AR really yet, so not going to catch him in his turn. This is exactly what I was talking about. We shot him as he was angled, and now he got to turn away completely for free. So, when someone's going to be border scrubbing, like this Charles is about to do, you want to wait for them to lose some of their engine power or go in a really predictable direction. Because they're going to go, I mean, like that, really. All of their vertical momentum has been exchanged for horizontal. So just lead like their flat broadside, and that's what you get, okay? Very simple to do border stuff if they do that turn, okay? That's like perfect example. Usually that doesn't work out like that when I start talking about what you should and shouldn't do. The game loves to prove me wrong. We'll take it though. We'll take it though. Big. Got a lot of options here. Maybe it's just Montana. He's broadside enough. Aim a little up into his upper belt and should be fine. Enemy team is pushing quite aggressively. Yeah, 10k there is solid. Our team has melted a bit, though, certainly. And we're slow, right? That's another thing, is we're quite slow, so keeping up with flanks is not the easiest. The game moves quickly.
Torpedoes, direct front.
My team should have that, but I want to guarantee. Try and guarantee it as much as I can. Oh no! Didn't guarantee at all. Bismarck pushing. Sejong pushing. Right? Yeah, I think they have it now. Sejong is kind of stuck with that Bismarck there, so we're going to aim for him to go pretty straight. Pretty straight line there. Yes, sir! We'll get 2 dev strikes in a single game. I'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. We love Vermont, man. It's so good. This ship is nuts. Absolutely crazy. Could be a Fletcher on our flank now, though. That is something to be aware of. Want to help on Bismarck now, too. Oh, these guns are just so good, man. They're so good. Oh, yes. Another like 16, 17k.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Ah, yeah, there's the torps. We knew they were coming. I think we only eat one, though, so that's good.
On water quickly. Critical engine damage.
Helping on Bismarck still. Des Moines about to go behind the island, so we're okay there. Our Marceau and Kearsarge cleaned up the Cossack, which is great. Oh, just barely didn't catch that Bismarck. But we know Fletcher's down here. So we're going to just angle to him. Very simple. Very simple. But it should work. 10 seconds and we're back up. With a salvo for either Iowa or Des Moines. Either one is great, honestly. Okay, sir. What is your plan, Mr. Des Moines? What is your plan, sir? 32k! Very nice! We'll take that. Think about using a heal soon again. I think we'll also use a plane here. Maybe that'll help us get some lights on Des Moines. Although plane spotting, the air detect no longer changes, which is really good. It's a really good change. We'll hold for Iowa to go flat broadside, or maybe this Des Moines gets lit up again. We'll see. Iowa appears to be going pretty flat. Oh, but Des Moines is back up. I should have held. I didn't think he would play like that. Iowa turns back in, but not in time. Oh no! The torps are even further than I thought. Whoops. We're gonna need 3. So probably go down. Although Iowa is not here. We do get our damage control. Marceau is doing great for us. Des Moines gonna get greedy for more Marceau or not? Doesn't look like it. Maybe. No, it doesn't look like it. So I'm gonna try and be very greedy. And I'm gonna try and help our Cherbourg down there. Iowa's coming around the corner, so we don't have a lot of time. 13 seconds till our heal. Five seconds. Probably missed that shot. There we go. We heal. Yeah, we missed. So, but there was nothing really around, so it's not too bad that we took that as an attempt. Des Moines is pushing out. No.
Spotter returning to ship.
Want to be ready for it, but doesn't look like it just yet. Our Marceau is very good. He's helping us out a ton here in this game. 18k is very nice. Want to try and be ready for potential Des Moines pushing out here, you know. Even though I was very broadside. Nice, you get him. Good. Try for the cheek, and then our rear turrets are going to go up into a superstructure. That is the plan there. We get our next heal. Okay, bad shots on my part. Our Marceau is very low as well. We just don't have the HP. We nearly have brought it back, though. We just don't quite have the HP. Again, we'll go superstructure. $10K is very good. He's going to be on us, so now we should be able to angle to him a little bit here. Nice. He might not expect us to be loaded so quickly. We're down to a 30-second reload, you know? And at this point, superstructure hits should be working in our favor. Yep. Nice. Okay, now we got to turn in and help our Mogador very quickly. Sorry, our Marceau on the Mogador. Otherwise, there is very little hope. "11 seconds. Oh, there's a Flandre as well. Wow. I almost feel like I have to trust our Marceau to win that fight. $17K Harugama. Okay, well, it's just over then at that point. Close. Oh, we get the Confed at the end. No. Oh, man, it was so close. I wasn't quick enough to react to the other flank just collapsing. I went too far to my own flank, I guess. I don't regret going to my flank, though, because as soon as you start leaving the flank you spawn on, bad things happen. The vast majority of the time, bad things happen. We have to comp our Marceau. Played incredibly well that game. 2 dev strikes. Hard to be mad at that. I love Vermont, guys. Oh, wow. I didn't actually click back to port. I love Vermont. This ship is so good. Here is the build, if you were wondering. This is what I was running today. We're trying to get back to our consumables faster. Buffing our AA is also a small bonus there, too. We have fast consumable reload on our heal already, so maybe this isn't as valuable, but getting back to that damage control in particular is nice. I feel like I really miss out on Grease the Gears and Brisk in this build, though. So there are certainly downsides. Obviously, concealment being one of them. But 15.5 is the base conceal of Vermont without any upgrades. That's crazy. For this gunpowder, that's insane. Which is why I'm kind of getting away with not taking these conceal upgrades and going for max damage. Well, within reason, max damage. Although no, I'd argue that aiming systems is max DPM build, because getting faster reload means you lose so much accuracy that you're not hitting as much. You're actually not hitting as much as you would be with aiming systems or artillery plotting room mod 2 here. This thing is so important. 5th upgrade slot. Yeah, you just get straight up 10% reload here. Very, very valuable. You have built-in prop mods, so that's where the steering gears is. Love me some Vermont. Had an absolute blast today. I hope you guys did too. Every once in a while, just got to come back to Vermont and play it a little bit. The dev strikes are just too addicting. So thank you very much for watching and have a great rest of your day.